Hi, this is Melanie for the Pardesi channel. I'm here to do a movie review of Bhavesh Joshi Superhero. This film is directed by Vikramaditya Motwane. He has done Udaan, which premiered at Cannes Film Festival. He's done Lutera, which is one of my all-time favorite romantic films. Such a great period film. And the recent Trapped, starring Rajkumar Rao, which I have not seen, but was very critically well received. So this is a real departure for him, doing a superhero film. He's tended to be more in the arty side, the arty, independent kind of cinema kind of side. And he's teamed up with Anurag Kashyap, who co-wrote the script for this film. When the trailer came out, I think people had low expectations because it's Harsh Kapoor, who did not make the biggest splash in his debut film, Mirzya, although I did enjoy, and I thought he did a decent job in that film. He showed promise, let's just put it that way. The trailer was so captivating and looked so incredibly cool, really captured my interest. This film was really, really fun. I highly recommend that you see this film, so I am not going to give as few spoilers as I possibly can. We see this in the trailer, that there are three friends, and Harsh has one sort of nerdy, quieter friend who's trying to write a graphic novel about a superhero. So they're just kind of sitting in a cafe and they're all just talking about what the superhero should be fighting for, what his value should be, and so forth. So it's a kind of a fun way to start the film. We can see that these three friends, Harsh plays Sikander, and then he has another very idealistic friend named Bhavesh. So they're kind of swept up in this anti-corruption movement. They attend political rallies. They're young students that just are so earnest about fighting corruption, and they decide to become vigilantes and put paper bags on their heads. We see this from the trailer, and they film themselves and post on YouTube, stopping people from urinating against walls and chopping down trees and all sorts of minor infractions. Their call is insaf, which is justice. I really liked the origin story of to me, it was very different. This kind of origin story of friends, so much of the movie was centered around friends, and we didn't see the family of any of the characters, which I thought was interesting. The corruption that they're fighting ultimately is corporate corruption, and also the issue of water, which we hear, that's what all of the prognosticators tell us. The future is not going to be about nations and strife about oil and fuel. It's going to be about who has the water and who doesn't have the water. So I thought that was interesting, bringing in that theme into the film and what they're passionate about. The costume, as we've seen in the trailer and the posters, is super cool looking, with the LED lights and tricked out motorcycle with, I don't know what it's called. Is it like nitrous or something? It's the same thing that they do for souped up cars, but instead it's a souped up motorcycle. I like that everything was grounded in reality. Everything was something that you could imagine someone really doing. Not that I mind Spider-Man. I am a big fan of all of those kind of films. I did find it funny that there was one part where Harsh's character is trying to talk up a girl, and he's like, oh no, we're not like Marvel. We're dark and mysterious like DC, which is exactly what the mood of this film is trying to go for. Much more of the DC world, a little bit of darkness, a lot of shadows in the cinematography, and just the way that it is filmed. I liked that the fight seemed grounded. Our superhero does not have any super weapons. I think he just uses kind of like I don't know what it would be called, but sort of a weapon stick, sort of like a police baton kind of a thing. I thought Harsh did a really decent job in this film. I mean, I think he was smart to do an action kind of film. And people joked about, well, he has a mask over his head. Okay, but he has to run a gamut of being like an arrogant, careless young man, and then going through some anguish, and then determined and going through all the training and whatever. So I thought he did a good job. But the standout for me is the young man, Priyanshu Painyuli. Ashish Verma plays the other quieter, nerdy graphic novel writing friend. Priyanshu just gets to do these fireworks kind of outburst kind of scenes, and he just gave an outstanding performance for the film. One of the main villains is played by Nishikant Kamat, and he's suitably creepy in the role. I thought that this is really an above average film. I like the origin story. The first half had a really good pace, and learning about the backstory of these three friends, and their friendship changes over time as, you know, they go from the earnest school days to a few years down the road, and some of them have jobs and so forth. The second half dipped in the pacing somewhat, although there were some really great action sequences. And again, there was a standout motorcycle chase. Still pretty much grounded in reality, but you know, the nitrous oxide or whatever it is that you'd use to soup up cars, and it's, you know, rigged onto a motorcycle. That sequence was very well filmed, and I don't want to spoil it, but it was innovative. It showed some things that I had never seen before in a car or motorcycle chase sequence. So I really liked that. I thought the stunts and the fights were particularly good. Again, grounded in reality, and no one was flying around on wires. It was dark and gritty and real, and you know, you could imagine someone who is spurred to be a vigilante actually doing pretty much everything that you see in the film. There was another character who was I don't want to spoil anything, but a teacher character who is a mentor for Harsh's character, and comes in at certain key moments to save him and whatever. And he's not even credited anywhere. I can't see what his name is on the IMDb or the Wikipedia page. So if you watch the film and you know who this actor is, you know who I'm going to talk about, please put them in the comments below, because I would love to know who this actor was. He was amazing. I think this is a really interesting film. To me, as obviously I'm an outsider, but it felt very much grounded in the place that it's set in India, in Mumbai. It wasn't a story that could be told everywhere else, which some superhero films have that feel that it could be anywhere. And this one definitely felt like this is a homegrown Indian superhero. I thought the film was a little bit long. I'm not sure it needed to be a full 2 hour and 40-minute film. Although the one item number song, the one actual dance song was very funny in how it was placed in the film. And what happened, the action that happened during it. So I didn't mind that. There weren't really, there was like a music montage, maybe a couple of other songs. So it wasn't that the length of the movie was due to there being 6 songs placed in the film. That wasn't it. The pacing could have been better if it was shortened somewhat. But I would be totally on board to seeing another film with this character, with Harsh playing it, more about this homegrown Indian superhero, Bhavesh Joshi. I thought it was a really fun day at the cinema, and I really encourage you to see it. Okay, so I have one big complaint, and this is for you, director Vikramaditya Motwane. Okay, I love your skills as a director. I love the cinematography. I have one small complaint. Seriously, you cast Harsh Kapoor in a movie who is so beautiful and so gorgeous, and you do not give me a shirtless training montage? What's up with that? Not one shirtless scene in the entire movie. This is also your demographic, a female demographic, and the female gaze. Yeah. Like, really? This is not a movie for kids like Krish or Ra1. It's not aimed at that. You know what one character says, they're more DC than Marvel or Disney or whatever. You know, this is not a movie for 5-year-olds. It gets gritty, it gets dark, it gets real, and I like that. I'd like to see more from this series. So we don't need Krish, 5 or 17 or whatever one at this point. I'd like to see another Bhavesh Joshi. What is it with this film? 2 siblings have their films come out on the same day. Craziness. Okay, I will be seeing Verity Wedding tonight, so I picked Bhavesh for the morning. It was me and reviewer Kathy Gibson of Access Bollywood were alone in the theater for the first matinee show. It was just the 2 of us. I'm hoping for a full crowd tonight. I wanted to see the comedy of Verity Wedding in a full crowd, and I'm taking a friend with me who has only seen one other Bollywood film. I thought this one, since it seems like Bridesmaids and other really funny women films, I thought this would be a good one to introduce her to Bollywood in the theater. Bang Bang is the only other movie that she's seen because, I had to introduce her to Hrithik. So you'll see another review for that. It'll be out as soon as I can for that one. If you like this film review, please press that like button, share the review, follow us on Twitter at PardeziYT. Subscribe to the Pardesi channel. If you hit the bell, you'll get a notification whenever I have a new film review, trailer reaction, or live stream.